A very good morning to everyone and welcome to today's CAAPID webinar. We know CAAPID process can feel overwhelming and today's session is designed to give you clarity, practical guidance and answers to your most common questions. I would like to introduce our today's host, Dr. Simran Bhatia. Congratulations, Dr. Simran. Dr. Simran is an internationally trained dentist who just got accepted to University of California, San Francisco. She's very passionate and wanted to make an impact on everyone about the whole journey and just to let everyone know that how to navigate through the journey. And hence she's here at Simpli Boards with us to help you. Over to you, Dr. Simran.
Thank you so much, Dr. Purva. So, hi, good morning, everyone. So before we dive in, let me briefly introduce myself. So like Dr. Purva said, I'm Dr. Simran Bhatia. I just got accepted this cycle. And like many of you here today, I once stood exactly where you are, confused, trying to make sense of the entire application process, the CAAPID, the applications, the timelines. I've gone through the process from preparing for the boards to navigating the applications. And today I'm here not just as your host, but someone who understands this journey firsthand. So before we move forward, it's very important to acknowledge the visionary behind today's session and behind Simpli Boards, Dr. Sujit Pradhan. He is a pioneer in online dental education, especially the INBD aspirants, and has helped over 300 internationally trained dentists successfully transition into various programs in US and Canada. He's also the brain behind many other startups. Today's session is a little extra special because we are joined by a stellar panel of experts and guest speakers, people who bring admission insights, real applicant experience, and strategic clarity. Let me welcome Dr. Samantha, a University of Buffalo graduate, a clinician, and with over a decade of experience. She plays an important role at Simpli Boards admission team. Dr. Sonia, with teaching and clinical experience of over a decade and brings a unique experience of almost all the exams, of the INBD, the ADAT, AFK. She knows in and out of all these exams. Followed by Dr. Jyoti. She's a practicing clinician with a great academic record. She's a master of concepts and enjoys mentoring board exam students for both US and Canada. Welcome, Dr. Wangi, an experienced English graduate instructor with great reputation. He enjoys training doctors, aced TOEFL, and is known for his monkey formulas, and everyone loves his TOEFL lectures. Dr. Sadaf, she's a foreign trained dentist who has great interest in teaching English language. She has an ADAT score of 600 and has successfully cleared INBD and got accepted at Colorado too. Simpli Board family is so happy to have her. Dr. Purva is a foreign trained endodontist with immense experience and knowledge, with her personal INBD experience and successful navigation of the board exams, the AFK, the ACJ, and the NDECC skill exam. Special welcome to our guest too, Dr. Anand. He's a practicing dentist, mentor, and a graduate from USC, Dr. Sapna, accepted at Boston University, Dr. Rami from UIC. We have Dr. Pooja, Dr. Arpita from UIC, and Dr. Shabnam too, accepted at ANN, Texas. So the journey of an international dentist is not easy. It's an odyssey. You have navigating licensing exam, language exams, application, finances, and a ton of uncertainty, often all at once. So at Simpli Boards, the mission is to always bridge the gap, break barriers, and simplify what feels impossible. So after evaluating over 400 applications, what are the challenges foreign trained dentists goes through in the entire admission process?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Simran, and welcome all of you. It's a good morning from Vancouver, Canada, and it's a very sunny day out here. And many of you know me very well. Nice to see you. Some of my students coming up here, saying hi to them. Dr. Rami is there. I can see her, like Sindos and Dr. Yeah, everyone. Hi. And it's always a pleasure to meet you guys. Dr. Santosi is there. Yeah, I can see oh my God, so many people. I'm so overwhelmed, to be honest. Yes. So a couple of things I have gone through myself, right? Being a foreign trained dentist, going through the admission process of United States as well as the Canada. So we have seen very, very big challenges. Number one challenges that we normally see, I think we have this next slide, if we have a next slide, about the problem. The problem, number one, that I see is when the foreign trained dentist navigates to a different world, affordability become a big challenge because maybe your body moved to a different part of the world, but your brain's still stuck at your home country currency and everything looks so expensive, right? So this is a very normal thing that we have seen it. But we also see that they get into wrong hands. They don't know where to start their mentorship program. They don't know how to start. And in overall thing, we feel like there is a big barrier, right? There's a big barrier that is there as a hurdle. So we at Simpli Board trying to make our courses accessible, affordable, and of course, with great teamwork, very, very accurate. Okay. So many of you have experienced yourself. We don't want you to spend a lot of money here and there. We want you to be focused. And I, as I always say, we work like a family, right? All our teamwork, all our teammates are here working as a family. So yeah, this is basically, I feel these are the problems most of the student feels, and we are here to help you out. And today we're going to talk about CAAPID 2026. So most of the time people ask this question, what's the change? Till 2025, since 2017, there was no change in the way CAAPID works. But 2026, they're bringing a lot of changes, and three major changes, to be honest. Okay. The number one change is, of course, you guys are aware, is TOEFL. And we have Mr. Wangdi. Mr. Wangdi, nice to see you again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Pradhan.
And I
good
hope
morning
you
to
brought,
everyone.
no, you may have brought some monkey formula as well today. Yeah.
Well,
We'll talk about it.
Okay, well, good morning, all the doctors available here. And, it's a pleasure and honor to be here, to be honest. And first of all, I would like to thank the Simpli Boards platform for giving me this wonderful privilege of, sharing my experiences with you people. And I can see some familiar faces. And to be honest, it's a kind of honor for me to see like one of my past students being in a panel. Dr. Sonia, hello, how are you? Good to see you. And I also see some of my past students like Dr. Sneha is there, Dr. Sindels I can see, and I can see some other familiar faces as well. And I can see even like current students as well. I can see Dr. Satudha Singh, who created a kind of a hallmark for this batch, actually, which I would like to share later.
Yeah, Mr. Wangdi's students, I can see so many of them are there. We'll come back to you, Mr. Wangdi, the number, because that's a very big topic of TOEFL. The next change you all should know is how the evaluator assess you now in CAAPID is different than previous versions. Okay, what are they bringing in? Those who knows about pass application, right? Pass application, the one that is used for residency, they are trying to bring that thing here in CAAPID also. So now your evaluator has to give your rating out of 10 in various topics, and they can supplementarily add a letter too. Okay, that's a big change. So for example, your evaluator has to say your learnability factor out of 10 is how much, and support some lines there, why they think it is. Your scientific thought process is how much. Your ethical standard, how much. Can you maintain work-life balance? This much. This is not new to those who have applied to the past, but this is coming new as a CAAPID, okay? Because earlier they can just upload a letter and that's done, okay? But now they have made it compulsory to make it there as a big factor of assessment. And number three factor, before we jump into the TOEFL things with Mr. Wangdi, is AI filters. Now, everything that you type in CAAPID, be it a personal statement, be it the question answers that is you're entering there, is AI filter scan. That means they will flag it out. This is AI generated material. So those who have been using AI in that way, so this is something that we should be more worried about now. Anything that you write there in CAAPID 2026 is going to be scanned by AI filters, and it will be flagged that if you have used any AI things to come up with this idea or thought process. Yes, Dr. Simran, that was main difference that's coming in 2026.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Pradhan. That was so insightful. Like we know CAAPID is evolving every year, but like you said, those three specific points, it's something that applicants must keep in mind. Yeah. So let's address the elephant in the room, the TOEFL. Yes, you can go ahead, Dr. Wangdi. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you, Dr. Simran. I mean, you just gave an analogy of like elephant, but I rather prefer to be called a monkey. That's how I've been known. In fact, in the past, one of my past students even recommended me, why don't you, Mr. Wangdi, why don't you like patent your monkey formula? That was kind of fun. Anyway, the thing is talking about, why TOEFL scares actually. So different people have different perceptions, right? It's entirely subject to nature. I will find my observation over the last, several years of teaching in this industry, and especially with the dentist, the first thing that I think I come about is, the stakes. The stakes are really high for your dentist. Because if you don't clear this one, okay, you have struggled a lot for several years of education for dentistry school. You have been to, you have spent days and nights working on that. You have built up your image, your reputation is there. And then you have that fear, what if I don't get good score? Will I be tagged as weak? That's the thing. And other one is, why only one test will shatter all your dreams? So it's all about the fear. That is what I feel personally about. And second reason that I've found is, is about how you people are trained at dental school. The kind of English that you have been used to and the kind of English that you are supposed to expect to use in TOEFL is entirely two different ways. It's from the east to west and west to east. so you have to maneuver all around. So adaptability is of prime importance here. The way you dentists are adapting to the AI tools stuff, the new infrastructures that are being laid down on your table. So that's how you got to adapt to it. And third, I think is speaking under stress. Like I as a professional, it's my thing. I keep on sharing with my students. When I'm in the sessions, I'm very interactive in nature. But you might have seen my photograph there, right? I'm not photogenic. I just look so angry man kind of thing, So I'm not used with that because you dentists are also trained in such a way, like you communicate human to human, first of all. So that interaction is missing because on the TOEFL you have just given a headphone, microphone. You have to speak on the microphone, and some people, they find it very daunting. Personally speaking, even I feel it very daunting task whenever my marketing department hands me over to record some videos. So you see a different aura of that one. Okay, so these are the main areas where you need to focus. And what precisely is entirely, I've seen it among few of it, most of dentists, they find it very difficult to unlearn themselves. In order to understand TOEFL, you've got to unlearn it. Your background knowledge will be of a very big hindrance. As long as you just hold on to your knowledge, like let's say in dental education, you're trained to look in details, to look deep diving in it. But if you just keep on doing that, means time will just wave you bye, the time clocks. That's the first thing. And another one is, many dentists, they think, oh, I can do that in one go. That attitude. And you people are trained, okay, whole night out. Okay, you spend hours of study for 1 weekend and think you can pass it by learning, by cramming, by learning it wrong. That doesn't happen in English. Therefore, I always tell my students, consistency matters a lot more than intensity. Okay, so having said this one, these are a few areas where most of the dentists, they feel scared about. If there are any other, apprehension that any one of you might have it, please feel free to just leave questions thing on the chat box. So I would love to address that later in the portion. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Simran.
Thank you, Dr. Wangi. That was so insightful. We also have Satwinder here, who is the past student of Simpli Boards, and he's received a very high TOEFL score. Can you please pitch in some insights?
So this was my first attempt on the new TOEFL. I mean, I never gave TOEFL. This was my first attempt. So what I found out was anyone who's preparing for it, they should focus on time management since the test is now shorter. So you're just looking at the questions and thinking about the answer, and the question skips to the next part. So that happened to me in one question. So I would recommend people to practice under a controlled time. And otherwise, it's doable. And if we, under the mentorship of Mr. Mangdi, I think you people can also get a good score. Best of luck for everyone.
Okay, thank you very much,
Yes.
Dr. Singh, for highlighting us. Here, I would just like to add a point. Dr. Singh is the first student from our 2026. So the tagline is, the inaugural of 2026 has set up a very huge benchmark. So which my current students, you have to keep up to that level. So it's set up a benchmark there. So I hope, I'm really looking forward for the doctors also to ace in that as well, like Dr. Singh. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Singh.
Okay, Mr. Wandi, we wanted to know more about what are the changes that has been there in 2026. Dr. Satwinder just shared it. We want to just throw a brief idea about it.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Pradhan. Like, Dr. Singh mentioned it pretty good because, Dr. Singh particularly precise, about the time management skills. So that's the most important part. That's the main area where students need to focus. But those who, like Dr. Singh, who have attempted this TOEFL 2026 for the first time. Now, but there are certain number of categories of students out there who had the experience of giving TOEFL 2025, which actually started from TOEFL 2023. So the scenario has entirely changed. Now, the test, as earlier, like Dr. Pradhan mentioned, it has become, the TOEFL score had changed. The scoring level from 120, it has become to like in CFR, in level of 6, it will be recorded in terms of band. At the same time, for the transition phase of upcoming 2 years, like ETS decided to give both the score, band as well as in point score. However, after 2 years, only band will be there. So that will be your point, other points for 120 will be considered obsolete. That was the first biggest change that has ever come up. Now, second big and more dramatic change I would call it is like adaptive nature, adaptability. All the students, they start at one point. Okay, they go out to the same directions, but there comes a point where they have to decide they will find a two-way out. So any students who are attempting first routing session is the reading and listening part. All the students will get the same kind of question. Now, it depends upon the students' individual respective answers. The more questions you get correct, the higher chances are there for you to go towards a capping one. Means it will be capped. So you'll be moving towards a band 6. Or else, like if you score like below 60% or so, you'll be capped below 5. Category. So what happens is the first adaptive phase is of primary importance because after, if you do not perform well in the first thing and if you're capped below the 5th grade, band 5, then later on, no matter how many questions you get correct, so that will not have any impact as such. The thing. Now, another thing is about the speaking actually here and speaking writing section. Like as Dr. Pradhan said, I think it has become more of a functional kind of English nowadays. As he said, like for CAAPID also, the CAAPID they tag your, the flag, your AI tools. Even for the TOEFL writing also, the writing, the integrate task has been removed where you had to go with like listen, read, and then answer. But now you have more of functional. You have to write an email. The email could be of asking for information, apologizing, it could be making an inquiry as such. It has become more of a functional data type. So it means like, let's say, okay, ETS earlier TOEFL was more between the walls of, between the boundaries of the campus area. Now it has come out of that wall. So you have to read memos, you have to read menus, you have to read notices, such things are there. And of course, academic talks is there, which will definitely be of tremendous help when you write a SOP. Because we train our students, not to use AI tools or not even to use autocorrect functions, which those students who have already finished taking tests, those who have taken the training under me, and those who are currently taking, you know it very well how strong, how strictly I just, forbid you people from using those autocorrect functions. And you know what, dear doctors, I have made it quite mandatory for our students to, just remove the autocorrect function even from the SMS also, from their cell phone, so that they get used to, how we become so dependent on this technology that we struggle to get the basic spellings also. So these are the major changes. The rest of things, sticking has removed, it has become more of like conversational English. It has become like more of an interview. So there's no preparation time. It's totally impromptu. So which many students will find it quite, quite good. Whereas some had preferred with the first category. So it's entirely subjective in nature. So now there comes a question sometimes, some students, they have asked me, is TOEFL 26 easier than the TOEFL 2025? So I tell them, as a mentor for me, both are easy, but it's up to you to explore on your own. Okay. With this note, I would like to put my hand out here. Thank you very much, Dr. Simran. Thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wande. Now, I would encourage all the aspirants and the participants to drop in your questions in the chat box.
Yeah, and we will take all of them at the end for sure. So don't hesitate to put any questions there. Whatever is coming in terms of TOEFL, in terms of anything related to CAAPID 2026, you have it in your brain, throw it down there in the chat box. Let's move on.
Okay, so the slide is highly critical. A strong candidate can get rejected purely due to documentation error. So after getting the desired score and after ticking all the boxes, what are the most common mistakes applicants go through in the application process? Dr. Samantha, can you please put in insights for this?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to see so many of my current students here. So thanks for joining. So first of all, things I notice a lot of times is when people are first starting to write a draft for the SOP, they end up writing a lot of things that we already see in the CV. And, admissions, if they start to read and it's not grabbing them right in, you worry they're just not going to read it. So really make sure that the SOP is the time to tell like your story, your journey, like use your voice and really captivate the audience and don't just repeat what you have in the CV. The next one is for the letters of recommendation. So you want to make sure that you're asking people to write these recommendations who really know you, and they can give more than just a generic letter, that they're going to be using actual examples and really showing, what a great candidate you are. Now, the next one would be when aspirants are choosing schools to apply to, you don't want to just make this big list without thought and apply to everything. Really do your research and we will help you with that as well. So this way you have some in the reach category, some in the match category, and then some are going to be your safety schools. Now, the fourth one would be if you have a gap year or a period of time where you weren't working, you weren't in dental school, and you don't really have anything to show for that time, there's a perfectly good reason why that happened. And you don't want to try to cover that up. You can, have your genuine answer. Just be ready to tell them in the interview, what was going on, and it's understandable. You don't want to harp on it, but you also don't want to just like kind of cover up. You want to be honest. And then the last one would be like the interview itself. So at this point, you've already gotten, invited to come for an interview. That means they like you. On paper, everything is looking great. And now they really want to get to know you and make sure you're a good fit. And they also want you to get to know their program and make sure that you can see yourself there as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Samantha. Dr. Anand, would you like to add anything? And all our other panelists and guests and experts, any insights?
Yeah, I will just like to add that documentation for SOP and LOR is very crucial. First of all, as I will agree with Samantha, she said one very good point. It should not be a reflection of your CV. They already have your CV to read. So it's not going to make any difference if you just write in there, okay, I did my graduation from this school, then I did my master's from this school, and then I came to US. No, that's not going to work. You have to have a personalized statement in a way. Should be a little generic also at the same time, so that because you don't produce a customized statement for each school. So you are producing actually a generic SOP, but at the same time, you are focusing more on your strength, like what strengths you have, how was your dental journey, right? From your first year of dental school to the present day, how you have evolved as a dentist, what you did for dentistry, or what dentistry gave you. Some small points, all of those, which are more quality oriented points, and not the quantity. Like you want to discuss some good qualities about yourself, because that's what they're looking for in an SOP. Regarding the LORs, yes, the problem with LORs, like some of the faculties give generic LORs, they give to that LOR to whoever students from the school ask them. So it's always better to get somebody who can do your LOR more customized way, who actually knows you and who's ready to write it for you, rather than you giving them the LOR and they just submit it on your behalf. So these are the few things that I always feel that need to be addressed whenever the part of documentation comes. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to add, Dr. Simran, one important point regarding LOR.
Yes.
This is my formula. I've given this formula to so many people in the past, but this is a very simple formula. What is that formula? Don't send your recommender a shocking invitation to write your LOR. I always say these things. You have to build it up a reputation. For example, a professor who has been very kind to you, all of a sudden you jump in someday and say, "Hey, I need a recommendation letter." They won't like it. You have to build it up. You have to share your intention way in advance. Like you wanted to do apply for United States. So I told them in maybe in Diwali or maybe in October mid, you send them a message about what is the intent. Then in December, send them a Merry Christmas message. And by by January, send them again a New Year message and seek their blessings. And in February, say, "I'm going to apply. Would you be able to write my recommendation letter?" Build up a repo, reconnect that connection again. That's very, very important. I think Dr. Rami wants to add some point here. Dr. Rami?
Hey, Dr. Pradhan. Hi, everyone. Yeah, as you said, of course, because it's very important that the people who are going to write your letter of recommendation, like they know in advance. So it's very critical to have all the letter of recommendation from the beginning, as soon as the cycle opens. And I also wanted to add one more thing about the interviews, that the schools you're planning on applying to, you should really do your research, know exactly the school is what it's known for, what does it offer. Try to connect also with students. It's very important, because sometimes in the interview they would ask, "Are you really interested in our school? Did you reach out to any of our students?" So it's very important to talk to someone before the interview.
I can see Dr. Arpita is also here. Dr. Arpita and Dr. Pooja. Oh my God, finally you made it. Nice to see you guys. Oh my God, same. You guys representing same institution, of course, your college as well as Simpli Boards. Share your thoughts upon mistakes many people make it. You guys were lucky to get into the first cycles right away. Damn. Tell what are the things that you know about it, one by one, please.
Appy, you want to go first?
It's okay, you can go first. I'll add on my thoughts later.
Yeah, okay. Hello, Dr. Pradhan. It's so good to see you. And I would always want to be on this platform. Sorry, guys, I have got some flu, so ignore my voice. But my heart and everything is with you guys. So yeah. Hello, Dr. Anand. You helped me a lot to get into this cycle. So thank you so much. I never got a chance to connect with you. And when Dr. Pradhan was saying, you have to keep relation, I'm like, oh, okay, I have to do that. So I would like to start with thanking you. Thank you, Doctor. So yeah, so the top mistake I made during my application was, as Dr. Pradhan said, I was lucky enough to get in first cycle, but I think what I made the mistake was starting everything very, very late. Because I finished my IMBD in October. I was like, I have pretty much time to finish everything. So I was chilling in India, doing all the things which I was not supposed to do. And till February, I didn't apply for my TOEFL. I didn't start with my SOP, LORs, nothing of that. So in February, when I reached out to Dr. Pradhan, and he's like, "Pooja, what are you trying to do? Are you not planning to apply this cycle?" I'm like, "No, I am." So he's like, "Okay, so you have to buckle up your seats and start running the race." I'm like, "Okay." And I gave my 2 attempts at TOEFL. I got 98 in first attempt, 99 in second attempt. So there was no way I can apply with that score. And then third attempt, I got like 105. So that was the attempt. By the time I reached that attempt and SOP, LOR and everything, it was already June. So to cut short it to everything, everyone was like, "Don't apply this cycle now," because all the East Coast schools were almost done. I had to beg NYU to give me extension of 15 days, which they did give me. But I was horribly late, and I applied to UOP on the last day of cycle, just 2 hours before. So those were all the mistakes. I'm doing UOP at this point, but I would give big credits to Simpli Boards and everything for that, for helping me, navigating me through that. But don't do these mistakes, which I did. Like, keep yourself prepared by March. You want to apply as soon. That is why I couldn't get it on the East Coast, and I'm on the West Coast, away from my husband, and have been living here alone. So kind of mistakes. If you want to stay with your families, you want to start early. Everyone has their own unique journey, but maybe you don't want to repeat the mistakes I did. And also, just one more takeaway point from here. Even if you don't have bench test for that school, you should practice on typhodont, because I had stopped practicing for 5 years when I moved from India to here. So kind of holding a handpiece again in school is tough, and few people might have gone through rigorous training of bench tests. So when you go into that mode of school zoning where you're trying to adjust, you're trying to maintain your curriculum, your academics, your didactics, in that, if you're struggling also with your skill set at that point, it's not the skill set, it's the mindset, I would say rather. So you want to be a little bit prepared, not too much, but a little bit prepared with holding your hands on the typhodont teeth. So yeah, that's my takeaway. So thank you.
Yeah,
And thank you for this opportunity.
absolutely correct. And I still remember, after a week or so into the school, I received a text message from Dr. Pooja and said, I wish I have joined the bench test preparation with you because I'm missing you here. So I was like, oh no, but you made it. Yes, Dr. Arpita, same school. Is he bossy on you? Is he bossy on you?
No. So same
Okay.
school as in even in India, we were in the same school, and here also we are in the same school.
Oh my
So
goodness, look
yeah,
at you.
we are batchmates in India. And right now, yeah, she's my senior. But yeah, to add on to what Pooja said, I completely had like a different journey. For me, as soon as I stepped, like I came to US, I knew I had to do this. So I think the first step is like everyone what they said, like you have to prepare for your LOR. So I kind of started, I knew I needed one LOR from US. So as soon as I cleared my INBD, I started looking for like DA jobs because I wanted an LOR from like a US dentist. And I think when I met her, I kind of, it's rude to directly say them that, oh, I need an LOR, but I kind of slipped in that this is my plan. I'm going to apply to the dental schools, etc. So like she knew what is my plan. So I think you guys can like build a repo here with whoever you are working for. And I think the other main important thing is like your documentation. So you need an interview call. And for an interview call, you have to impress them in your documentation. So like you have to check your documentation like 5 times, 10 times, get it checked by your family members, get it checked from Dr. Pradhan, and yeah, Simpli Boards is there, but you have to get it checked because any single mistake, and even if you have done a lot of work and your application is very good, they won't like invite you. And that is like the main step, that you need an invitation to impress them. So yeah, that would be like my big tip. And yeah, as Pooja said, bench test. So I think I did bench test twice with Dr. Pradhan, and it has really helped me. I cannot say how much it has helped me, but yeah, it's like definitely, even if there is no bench test, like UOP did not have bench test, but luckily I had other interviews. So I did bench test for those, but do bench test, practice your hand skills, because in school it is very fast. Like it's like an 8 to 10 week quarter, and you won't even realize that you have started and you have ended your quarter.
Oh, I could not believe Dr. Pooja is graduating this year. Time flies. Dr. Anand and me always used to, oh my goodness, look at this. Time flies away so fast. And I still remember, Dr. Arpita, the day you inquired about INBD preparation and you started your journey from there with us, it was, you bagged it. And I was always, if you remember, I was putting Pooja as your benchmark because she's from the same state and things like that, right? Do you remember that?
I remember.
Yes, Dr. Simran.
Just, I want to add one point to Appy's, like she brought a very good point up about the documentation. So just to add one thing to her point, the person who is sitting is not just the dentist who is reading your SOP LOR. So you want to take opinion of maybe your husband who is engineer, or like XYZ, whatever they are, not from the dental field, but somebody who understands English and your feelings, not dentistry. So you want to get it read and reread by them as well, that what they think and how they connect with your story. Because when I was in the school, accidentally I came to know my SOP wasn't read by the dentist, but was read by the director of cultural and stuff like that. So you just want to keep those things in mind as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pooja, Dr. Arpita, Dr. Pradhan. That was so nice and so insightful. Dr. Sapna, can you also share some strategies that work for application?
Yeah, thank you for having me here. My special thanks to Pradhan sir, Anand sir, and Mr. Wongdi for all they have done for me in this journey. I feel the entire CAAPID application is like making a dental impression, because you need to be very mindful about what goes into the application and how you take the what direction you lead the readers to go in, and how to highlight your strengths. And I think if you work on all these, you will be able to build a very good application. So it's not like just listing what you have done, but you have to carefully craft your application. That is very important. And that's where I think Simpli Boards helps you, all of you, in your journey.
Simran, I also have a very, very important strategy which I followed in my CAAPID cycle. So when I was applying for my CAAPID, I was practicing as a dentist, So sometimes we are so overwhelmed with our lives Some of them have young kids, there are so many things on their plate, and it sometimes becomes very difficult to cope up with this overwhelming and unknown factors, like you don't know what's going to happen. So what I always advise one thing to each and everyone, and those who have talked with me, they know about it, is one thing at a time. You just focus on one thing at a time. Say you are right now targeting your TOEFL. Your focus, 80% to 85% of your focus should be on TOEFL. To tell you guys very honestly, I never knew what's going to happen after I clear my INBD. Take it from me. I gave my INBD in COVID times in 2022, January. But I didn't know once I clear my INBD, what's the next step. I knew that, okay, there's something like CAAPID, but I really didn't know what CAAPID is. So if you are like a slow progressor and you focus on whatever you do at the time, so my strategy will be like just focus on one thing at a time with not getting too much of information of other steps, because sometimes if you get too much of information, there is a possibility you get a lot of overwhelmed. And I see people, they're backing off that. They feel like, oh, like for example, I'll give you an example. Like say if you start thinking of your student loans when actually you are supposed to give an INBD. Many people are so scared of the student loans that they will think of like, I don't want to pursue dentistry in United States. So just take one thing at a time. You still have not got the acceptance. You start thinking of student loan when you get the acceptance. Okay. So one thing at a time is amazing strategy. If that works for you, you can always try that. But that doesn't mean that, like for example, like when you finish your CAAPID application, then you should start preparing for your bench exam, because there is a possibility that you might be getting the bench exam. So you should have a roadmap, definitely a roadmap, but you should not be thinking of bench prep when you are actually supposed to focus on your document preparation. Very simple.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anand. That was so nice. Because as you rightly said, focus on one thing at a time. I remember during my application process, like when I was preparing for TOEFL, at the same time, I was also thinking of whether I'll be able to write my supplemental essays or no, how many schools have how many supplemental essays. And it costed me not one, but 2 to 3 TOEFL attempts. So please, like Dr. Anand said, please focus on one thing at a time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. So now we'll ask Dr. Sonia, how does board exam preparation matter for the INBD and beyond? Can you please share?
Sure. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Simran. Hello, everyone. Glad to see you all here. And today I want to guide you how to prepare effectively for the INBD, and more importantly, how to prepare smartly. So first, understand that INBD, it's not a memorization-based exam. It's a clinical reasoning exam. And the questions here are integrated and patient-centered, meaning you must think like a dentist, not like a student. And your preparation, it should always start with strong fundamentals. And do not try to memorize isolated facts. Instead, connect basic science concepts to clinical situations. Secondly, case-based practice, it's essential. Read the STEM carefully, identify the patient's chief complaint, medical history, risk factors, and ask yourself, what is the diagnosis? What is the priority? And what would I do first in a real clinic? Third, consistency. That matters more than long study hours. Even if you study 4 to 6 focused hours daily with the active learning and review, is far more effective than studying randomly for long periods. And another key point, I will say, it's an exam strategy. Eliminate unsafe or unethical options first. INBD answers usually it prioritize patient safety, conservative treatment, and evidence-based care. If you are confused between two choices, ask which option best it protects the patient. And finally, trust the process. Many students, they feel overwhelmed, but remember, thousands have passed this exam with the right guidance and discipline. So stay consistent, practice clinically, and believe in yourself. And in Simpli Boards, we are here not just to help you pass the INBD, but to help you think and practice like confident dentist.
Okay, I have a question. I have some question for Rami.
Yes,
How your board preparation, because those who know Dr. Rami or not, he had a wall of fame. I mean, he used to write. Okay, yes, okay. Oh my God, yes.
His wall of cards.
Yes, cards.
All INBD was on my wall.
So how does those things help you, what you studied during the board preparation, help you in the college? We want to first have an interaction.
How it helped me in the college later on. So the thing is, you realize, as they say, that it's very clinical and it's very important. It's always going to be the same concept in different questions, in a way that they want you to understand these medical conditions that are going to affect your dental procedure, and certain medications and pharmacology that are going to also force you to change or have a medical consult, because they're going to affect, for example, the outcome of an implant or bleeding tendency and these stuff. So for me, to memorize it, and it helped me. This stuff, you should always like just read about them. Like I place them on my wall every day. I would wake up, just see this antiplatelets, anticoagulants, this stuff that matter. At the beginning, it's going to be very overwhelming because it's a huge subject. But then you realize there are more stuff you have to focus than other things. And just as they say, trust the process. I was like very overwhelmed. I used to call Dr. Pradhan always like doubting, like, is it possible for someone to memorize everything? And I didn't realize that subconsciously you are honestly memorizing, but you're too worried about other stuff. So that's why only focus like one subject at a time. Think how solve as many questions as possible also, because they help you think in a certain way that the INBDE exam is designed. And after the INBDE, hopefully once you get accepted to school, it was very easy for me like to get high grades and keep up with the program.
Yeah, it's
Like
so nice.
it's going to really help you later on.
Yeah, definitely. And when we receive a message stating that I did this top in my batch, this, that, it makes us more proud, and all the hard work that you invested in the initial phase pays off. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so
yeah.
shall we move to the next slide?
Yes, let's move to the next slide.
Do the attempts matter?
Oh, Dr. Jyoti.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Pradhan, and thank you, everyone, for joining. So I'll be talking about the number of INBD attempts, like how many attempts are allowed, what is the waiting period between the attempts. So you are allowed up to 5 total attempts to pass the INBD. It's a part of 5 years, 5 attempt eligibility rule. That means you either have 5 years from your first attempt or you have 5 total attempts, whichever comes first. Now, let's say somebody has an unsuccessful attempt. So 60 days is the waiting period that before you can retake the exam. So that time period you have to give in between. And you have like 4 attempts maximum that you can give in 1 year time period. So like in 1 year, you are allowed only 4 attempts. So, and if anybody has exhausted all the attempts, then also either the attempts exhaustion could be because the 5-year time period has reached, or somebody has finished all the 5 attempts. Still, the people, any student can give INBD, but it's only once every 12 months. So, but you don't need to worry about the attempts because we are here to navigate any challenges and we'll turn that into a learning opportunity for you. We are here at the Simpli Boards. We will help you before you reach that 5 attempt period. Okay. Now, let's say if somebody has given NBD right before, and now that attempts are separate, you still get 5 attempts for INBD, which is separate from that NBD attempts. But yes, it will still be highlighted in your report that you will get, but the attempts are separate for both of them.
So, Anand, I have a question. Dr. Jyoti rightly pointed the 5 attempts one can give, but what is your opinion upon how can, if someone has multiple attempts, how can they overcome that attempt thing? So many attempts they made. How can they improve on?
So I feel this, so to be very honest, I feel this exam doesn't need more than 1 attempt, 90% of the cases. So we are just talking about the rare things that can happen, that can go wrong. If that has happened, one has to introspect, first of all, what's happening with what way they are doing. Most of the time is the concepts of the dentistry that might not be mismatching with the real concepts of the dentistry. So the first thing and foremost would be like, try to shadow somebody who is doing good work. That will always automatically improve your concept. Second thing, get help. You should not. So once you fail on an attempt, I will recommend to get some help. Ask people what's happening, why you are not making it through. Get professional help. Like we have Simpli Boards, we have us, you have us, so you can get help from us as well. But getting help from people is one of the most important things whenever you are stuck with something. If you don't get help and you are shy of getting help from people, I think it's not going to help, because the exam tests your fundamental understanding. I have seen people trying to clear INBD just on the basis of remembered questions. Take it from me, that's not the right way to strategize to pass the INBD. So if you are one of them who are really trying to go through the exam with somebody telling you, oh, you just do few files and then you will be all good. No, it's not like that. Things can go wrong in your exam if you really don't know what you are going through. And I have seen some people who have really not made through the INBD. So it's not just, I'm just talking just like that. I have seen people, and when I really told them, like, there are some things that you need to know in INBD which you might not learn in your dental school, because I did my graduation in 2008. Like, that's a long time back, it's like almost 18 years from today. So like, if you are giving an INBD today, there will be some things which you might have not learned back then, back home in your own country, because every country has its own limitations and the style of teaching is totally different. You have to understand the way that dentistry is taught in US, and that's why you need some help if you don't get through the exam.
Yeah, Dr. Anand, You somehow indirectly revealed our ages. Don't do that. We look very old now. Okay. Anyways, I wanted to add one point here. Very, very important point. Okay. Does INBD attempt matters? It doesn't matter if you're into the school. It doesn't matter. But before the school, it matters. Okay. Number one thing which you have to understand when you are not able to clear the exam at the first attempt. That's something that you have to look into yourself very seriously. The reason why I'm saying this thing is INBDE has changed since 2025. Again, Mr. Wangdi added one point. The same format is there in INBD now. If you are scoring really good in your scores, if you're doing really good, you're going to get tougher questions. If you're going to get tougher questions, that means your score will be higher and higher. But if you're not able to answer some of the simple questions, then you're going to get more simpler question. And if you're going to make more and more mistake on that, you're going to get low score and you might not pass in the exam. So it is also coming into that concept of same way. Every exam is coming on that same way, but the difficulty level has only increased by 2%. Okay, so here's the insight of it. I can tell you this thing with a lot of confidence. I think we have last one big question, Dr. Purva, last slide, right? Before we take the question and answers, GPA matters or not? Okay, I would like to take Dr. Presta. I saw you there, Dr. Presta. Where are you? Oh my God, so nice to see you.
Same
I
here.
wanted to get your insight here as well, and Dr. Purva's insight here. Dr. Presta, GPA matters for the admissions?
Yeah,
What do you
hello
think?
everyone. I was one of the first batch of CAAPID application with Dr. Pradhan 3 years back. And as per me, yes, GPA matters. What my experience has been, your application goes through a computerized filtering system beforehand, and it's highly advised, like the GPA above 3 is required. And when you are on an equal level with one other candidate, then definitely like they go ahead with higher GPAs. So your application process starts long back before your exams, and you actually prepare for your boards. So your dental school does matter.
Okay, Dr. Purva, what is your thought on that?
Yes, I believe GPA matters because if you have a higher GPA, that means it's more competitive, because these days everybody is targeting high GPA. But yes, more than 3, like Dr. Prishna said, that is important. And other than that, other factors are also to be kept in mind, like the TOEFL score and experience and all your SOPs and everything. So yeah, in my opinion, GPA matters, and it's better if it is more than 3, of course.
Yes, Dr. Anand.
Yeah, I know you will come back to me, and I have a different perspective. GPA. See, I come from a time where my schooling grading was very different. Sometimes students who are graduated from my own school have higher GPAs, and my GPA was lower. Like, I will tell it openly, like my GPA was 3.3 for my bachelor's, but it jumped to 4 because I did my master's. So my GPA was 4. Forget that. So that's 4 out of 4. That doesn't matter. But my GPA was 3.3, was not bad. I was in top 10 in my university, but still my GPA was 3.3. So GPA, as per me, is just one criteria. Okay, it's just one step. It doesn't matter much, because I have seen so many candidates with GPAs in the lower 2s, 2.8, 2.9, 2.7 also. So it actually is just one criteria. But if you have other things in your plate, say experience, say degrees, say some American education, say community work, say some sort of a research or other things, whatever it can be, if you have other things in your plate, GPA is just one factor. So as per me, GPA is important when you have nothing else in your plate to show. But if the school runs as Dr. Presta said, like if they are running a pre-filtering, okay, they want to just see what all candidates are around more than 3, then probably you might not go through. But if they're not using that filter and they're just going through your SOP, your overall profile and everything, then probably lower GPA doesn't mean the end of the world. And sometimes there are situations where you really can't do anything to improve your GPA. The only thing that you might be able to do is to get into some programs, and then you get your GPA reevaluated with ECE, and probably it will jump a little bit higher. But if you are not in that situation where you can afford American education or get some extra degrees, then probably you are stuck with your GPA. So lower GPA doesn't mean the end of the world, but it is one factor which you need to consider, that you need to introspect yourself. Is there anything that you can do it, or is there anything in your profile that will still make you get into the dental school?
100%. We have got acceptance even in 2.6 GPA, but how you portray, how you so tell the admission committee that what factors were there, importance. Okay, there's a big question, I think. Yes, Dr. Purva? Okay, so I think this question can be open to everyone. Dr. Arpita can start into this. Dr. Arpita, share your experience. What factor to keep in mind while selecting the college?
So I think this is more of like a personal thing. It depends where you stay. If you have family, do you want to stay with your family? Do you have kids? So I can just tell about me, how I selected schools. So there are, I think, more than 30 schools, right? It's not possible to apply in all of those schools. So in my mind, it was like, I'm going to apply to the 10 schools. So I live in California. So first I started with California. Like I was sure I'm going to apply to all the California schools except UCSF, only because UCSF has like a 3-year program. And I was not willing to invest more than 2.5 years in this. So that was one of the factor. And after that, I think I applied to schools like NYU, Pennsylvania. So I selected a few East Coast, and I think you have to look more into the school and look what they want from the applicants. So like there are a lot of schools that need green card applicants. So I'm not a green card holder. So like that kind of reduced my schools. Then I looked at how many students are they accepting. So for me, I think it did make a decision. Like if it was more than 10, I selected those schools. If it was taking less than 10 people, I really did not apply to that school. So I think it's more of a personal choice. But since I was living in California, for me, main focus was California schools. And yeah, and even in that, like I wanted to get into the SoCal schools because I was in Southern California, but destiny matters. I didn't get into one of them, but I'm here and I'm happy.
Very nicely said. You're happy. That's what matters at the end,
Happy.
right?
Getting into school is a big thing. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to, I think, Dr. Purva.
Yes. So, Dr. Simran.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Simran. So we open the floor for the questions now, and thank you everyone for joining the session. We hope it helped you, even if in a small way, but we really hope that the session was helpful and insightful for everybody. And the floor is now open for all the questions. We have some questions in the chat box as well, and I can unmute one by one if people want to ask questions.
Okay. So I think the first question is Dr. Isha. Dr. Isha, please go through your question and we will answer them. Dr. Isa, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Thank you, mentors, for all your time. My question was regarding the TOEFL score. Is the 2025 score still valid, or do we need to give the new TOEFL?
No, it is valid for 2026, but it is not valid next year onwards.
Hopefully, we'll get a new cycle.
That's a good question.
Because some of the, you know how on social media groups somebody's posting something and somebody posted that saying that they need 26 new TOEFL version and the older ones won't be accepted.
No, that is not been said by CAAPID.
If I may interrupt here, I would like to add a point here what Dr. Balan added. Like when you talk about whether TOEFL score will be accepted is the thing or not. So I remember mentioned earlier as well, the TOEFL score, that TOEFL 2025 scores, it's a normal TOEFL score is valid for 2 years. So now coming from like 2026, so that will be just for this year. By the end of the next year, it will be invalid. But for the first 2 years of transition phase, they will be given score they will not only be giving band score, they will also be giving you 120 as well, so that universities, they can relate to that. However, after that, since that the score will not be valid, so as such, what like Dr. Pradhan said, like that's what you really need to focus on that.
Next question is by Dr. Neeti, I guess. Dr. Neeti, can you unmute yourself?
So for TOEFL, there are, sorry, once again. For TOEFL, there are some topics that are maybe I'm not familiar with, things like finance or things like that. Do you have recommendations on what to read during free time to improve my vocabulary?
Well, that's a very one of the last questions that. Okay, so I think I should be the one who should be addressing that. Anyways, thank you very much for such a wonderful question. The first of comments like vocabulary. Now, first and foremost thing that what we have to understand is what does the TOEFL stands for? It is a test of English as a foreign language. It's a language assessment system, not a knowledge assessment system. So therefore, when you talk about vocabulary, there is no hard and fast rule that you need to have an excessive, massive vocabulary. Okay. However, that doesn't mean that you do not have a basic vocabulary. Since students are normally expected to have a high school level vocabulary. So anything that comes up to high school standard, that would be fine. For example, yes, one very strict thing recommendation, please do not read those books that are specifically designed for certain areas. Like for example, your dental books. because lots of medical terms we use, those are called jargons. So jargons will not be normally be used. So let's say if you're talking about dentistry, so let's talk about there's a passage about oral hygiene that common people can understand. So what kind of words might come into that? So definitely the terms like prosthodontics or your medical terms, that will not be of much help there. Or like you can say the recent changes in the medical history, like how the integration of artificial intelligence has affected the dental industry. Okay, and for regarding the commerce part and everything, you can simply go through, not entirely business news about, just overall about, how the business is, is affecting, for example, how the price of petroleum products impacts like other areas, how the law and supply demands it affect the entire global system. Like, for example, how the pandemic has affected entirely, even though it was a medical thing, but it has impacted different areas. So try to make it, reading habit in a very versatile way. And please, mark my word, vocabulary is not something that you can only improve by reading. You can improve it by listening also. So while commuting on your way, you can listen to good, wonderful podcasts. In that way, you run into some words. That's the best way to learn it. And so learning by cramming, that should be strictly be avoided. Like those candidates, who prepare for GRE, graduate record examination, or for the management students, those who prepare for graduate management aptitude test, or those high school, those who prepare for SAT. So they have this extensive vocabulary that they have to memorize it. But in terms of TOEFL, you do not need to have a very academic vocabulary. You do not need that much for sure. Okay, I hope I have answered your question to a certain degree. I hope so. So then you got to read everything that you can put your hands on, but be aware the moment you see more of a jargon, for example, you just can't expect to read a play or a poetry book from literature, for example. You just can't just take out an economics book from the textbooks. So that will not be much help. So rather of more of a thing that you might run into some newspaper publications or website portals and everything. So that kind of reading will be of tremendous help to you.
Okay, so
Mr. Wangde, sorry, Dr. Pradhan, yes, go ahead.
So who is asking the next question?
Yeah,
Let's
Dr.
quickly
Fatima, we have asking the next question.
Dr. Fatima? Is there? Dr. Fatima, what is your question? So let's move on to the next one. If we have Dr. Vidya, you have a question?
Hello, doctor. Thank you. Yes. My question is regarding how to select schools, like what factors to be considered before selecting a school. So for instance, last cycle I applied to University of Alabama. They did say like they do accept students with visas, but at the end they do send rejections telling like they need a visa valid till 2028. So I wanted to know like how do we shortlist them?
Okay, so you've asked particular college specific. We do have Dr. Pester. Dr. Pester, what do you think? What Alabama thinks about admission?
This is a very dicey question, and for you, last cycle was a mess because of a lot of factors. So there is like no specific answer currently to this. Particularly for UAB, they say that they are taking, but the chances are you won't get preference if you're not a green card holder or citizen. But it's just the political situation right now. It's your luck. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the reality. Yeah, that's 100% the reality right now. So the factors, those who are having some sort of privilege of green card citizenship might get better preferences, particularly in politically dominant areas. Yes. Dr. Purva, next.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Dr. Fatima had actually asked a few questions. I would like to again ask if she's here and she wants to ask any questions. No? Okay, so moving on to Dr. Sevani Chandra. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question, please?
Yeah, hi, mentors. Thank you for your time. I truly appreciate your insights. For my first question, I had already typed a couple in the comments chat section. First question was, can I take a LOR from a place I have working since few months than to a place I worked for more than 1.5 years?
Hi. Yes, absolutely. If you feel like that's going to be you have a stronger connection or relationship, if this person you're working with now can give more specific examples and strengths and where you showed, that you're going to contribute to the future of dentistry here in the program, then sure, that will be totally fine.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samantha. I hope it's going to help me. Yeah, I have other questions.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask all the questions.
Well, the other question was, would it be an issue that I do not have a dental license from either my home country or the country I graduated from? Basically, I do not have any paid clinical experiences, and I don't know I should be worried about this or not.
You know what? I'm not 100% familiar with all the program requirements, but my instinct would be that they would probably require it. Maybe now that Dr. Pradhan's back, he can just back me up whether that's still true.
Okay, so sorry, I missed your question.
No problem. If you don't mind, just please ask again.
I'll go ahead with this. I'll go ahead with this. So
yeah, Dr. Anand is it.
Yeah, to be very honest, in order to prove yourself to be a dentist, like say also I have my DDS. Okay, so in United States I have my DDS, but that DDS stand of no value if you don't have a license. Nobody's going to allow me to practice if I don't have the state license. So it goes similar with the schools as well. Though might not be a requirement, but if that comes up at some point of time, whether they ask you after the acceptance or during the process that you don't have a license, and probably there might be a chance that there might be, because every school also, once you get accepted, they also ask for your original documents for verification. Most of the schools do ask. So in that, if giving the dental license is a requirement, then probably you might need to get the license from your home country to really get into the program, because that proves that you are a dentist. So formal education is one thing, and licensing is totally a different thing. So usually I think it will depend on the school, as Samantha mentioned, but I never came up with this question, as I think everybody does have a license, but maybe it's a good thing to just look upon the school's requirement, and that will be a better way to go ahead from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anand. And Dr. Sivani, you have any other questions, or can I move on to the next person?
Yeah, you can move on, Dr. Pooja.
Okay. So we have next question from Dr. Hima Sindhu.
Yeah, hi, sir. So I have received my 2 interview invites in my first cycle, but unfortunately I didn't gain admission in that. So would it be advisable to modify my SOP and LORs again for this next cycle?
There is always, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely yes. The answer is yes. Now the thing is, that's a very good question as well. That if you wrote an SOP stating you were born in Timbuktu in the first SOP, and now you're saying you were born in Tanzania, they can have a look on both the application most of the time. But there is a better way of presenting your stories there, then it's all good.
So I would like to add one more thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is connected. So SOPs and LOR are connected with each other, but getting not an interview in one cycle, and again expecting that you might get an interview in the next cycle just by changing the SOP and LOR might not work either, in a way,
100%.
because there might be other factors other than the SOP and LOR we didn't got you in for an interview. So we need to analyze what's going on around. So you got 2 interviews. As per me, I got only 1, and I will say that you need just 1. So but to be very honest with you, you got 2 interviews. That means some of the things that you did in your cycle were good. Like maybe your SOP
100%.
was good or LORs were good, but there might be other factors which might not be in your favor. Say, like, for example, you are not in United States. That might be one factor. You might not have a proper visa that the school might be looking for to give you the acceptance. That might be the other factor. There might be other factors like, the competition was too high and there were other better candidates. It might be just the problem of the space, So there are other things that also goes into it, but what you can change out of your previous application, I think we are left with just the SOP and LOR. So we just try to modify, because that's what is in our control. The other things might not be in our control. So yeah, that's what my take would be.
Absolutely. It comes with a lot of experience, Dr. Anand speaking it, but that is the reality. Okay. Now I have a different approach to look into the interview thing. And those who have got mentorship from us, they know I consider this document as love letters. Love letter that you are throwing it to someone to say, hey, I want a date. At least have a date with me. That letter should be very appealing. That letter should touch the heart. And what is the interview? Interview is the date. And in that date, you wanted to present yourself in a best and honest way that reflect your character. And then acceptance is the marriage for 3 years at least, or 2 years. Okay. This is how you have to think, and this is how you have to work. Now, my question to you guys is, don't be prepared for date. Don't be prepared for writing love letter. Don't be prepared for writing marriage things way in advance. Answer is yes. So you got to prepare things well in advance. That's a very critical thing. See, this is a very common mistake that Dr. Samantha also said, that applying late is not a good thing. So you got to prepare on time, and it's okay to, revisit everything, find out the points where you lack, and hope for the best. Now, regarding Dr. Anand is very honest in representing himself, and he told he got 1 interview. I know why he got 1 interview, because his CV was 11 page. So much accomplishment in his life, right? Sometimes when we see people with a very heavy CV, some faculty people don't like it. They feel threat. Maybe just after the graduation, they will eat up my job, or they will be hard to train. They will assume in that way. People who have Dr. Presta, she's young, but very heavy CV. because she has been a student in the United States. She has ambitions. But the good point was her networking within the campus, within this thing, and her reputation was a reflection of her character. And she got it into the first cycle. And she was the first, one of the few people who were working with us for their application. Yeah. So now she's graduated. She's working as a dentist. So this is how the things changes over a period of time. Any next question? Dr. Sindos has a question. Dr. Sindos, go ahead. Dr.
Hello,
Kusum
good
also
morning,
has-
everyone. Nice to
Oh
see
my
you
goodness.
again.
Yeah, Dr. Sindos. Yeah.
Yeah, and we appreciate, as usual, from Simpli Boards, their amazing meetings, learning a lot, and answering our questions. So my concern is about the letters of recommendations, since I come from a country that is still in continuous war, and a lot of doctors are not there, and they don't know us personally because we were a lot in class, so they know us in general. So that's my concern. How are these letters going to be evaluated or validated? Thank you.
Now that's also one of the reasons they have made that changes, right? For the letter of recommendation, they don't want you to just upload it. They want you to grade it. So if you have a good contact with any person, so they are going to go any far away. So you have to make a connection. Okay, I know it might be difficult, may not work everywhere, but you should help them to understand how critical it is to get into an interview or invite. So it's always, I say, they don't know how the system works. Get them into Zoom, WhatsApp call, walk through it, why it is important, tell them, and try to navigate them. And many people from back home countries, they may not understand the significance of it, but that's okay. But we need to teach them, right? Because you are the person who want that, not they. Even if they are not willing to give it to you, you should be a person who wanted to take it very generously. So giving and taking is an art, and I always believe you must start developing that relationship well in advance. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Dr.
And if you don't have those connections there, whosoever is the connection here, even I can write a recommendation letter for you for sure. Okay, that's an assurance to you. Yes.
Dr. Kusum, you had a question you wanted to ask?
Yes, sir. Hello, Dr. Pradhan.
Hello, Dr. Kusum. Yes.
Yes. So I had these few doubts about TOEFL. I think I just messaged you in the morning. You and Mr. Wangdi recommended me to take it again. My first score was 103. So I just wanted to ask that if, God forbid, the second score is lower than that, then which score do the universities accept?
No. You are not going to send your TOEFL score until you get this score. And nowadays the TOEFL score, Dr. Satvinder, you get it within few hours, right? Few days.
For nowadays it's like 72 hours. So in
72 hours. 3 days. 3 days only. So wait
And
till
then-
3 days. Don't send your report.
Okay. And then how much time it takes for the TOEFL to send it to CAAPID?
So that depends 5 days to 15 days.
Oh.
I think within a one week you should be okay. It usually shows in the CAAPID once you send the reports.
In the notification comes in that the list has been received. Sometimes there is a lag, particularly at the middle of the CAAPID cycle or end of the CAAPID cycle, where everyone tries to rush in and put the score, then it delays. Okay?
So then I won't send my 103 score. I'll take a new TOEFL. The thing
It will
is,
be a wise thing. Mr. Wangdi is the right person to say whether you are prepared or not. Get in touch with him, use him, use the platform, gain that confidence. And you definitely, Dr. Satvinder went in like that and just he was doing his own way, getting some tips from Mr. Wangdi. He scored 110, first attempt. Just imagine what is a benchmark. That's why we were saying what a benchmark he has created for others, 110 and above. Okay. Yeah.
And so if the date I'm getting for the new one is towards the end of this month. So I was just thinking if
It's okay. It's
it
completely
will
fine,
be,
yeah.
it will reach CAAPID before. I don't want it to delay my application.
No. I don't think it is much delay will be there. But see, 103 is not a bad score. Now, me and Dr. Romesh talk about it. TOEFL is not that sensitive to differentiate with. That's why they are coming with a band score. They feel the band is more more conclusive, more sensitive to differentiate between who got 99 and who got 103. For TOEFL, it is almost the similar. But now they're bringing a band and all things. Maybe that will help them to have a better understanding. I'm not an expert of English, but yeah, you can give it again. That will be a good thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Dr. Purva,
Yes, we have one more question from Dr. Tamanna, I guess, if she's still here.
Yes, Dr. Purva, I'm here.
Yes, you can please ask your question.
So my question is there any drawbacks we are going to face as a reapplicant? Actually, this is going to be my second cycle, CAAPID cycle. So I just wanted to know if there anything we should be worried about as a reapplicant.
I will take that question for you, and I think Dr. Anand will also wanted to add it here. Number one point is answer can be yes, answer can be no. The yes, negative impact may be there if you do not show that you have changed over a period of time. Okay? It will have a negative impact if there's no change and no demonstration that you made 1 year period into some sort of useful thing to build up your profile, to do some more enhancement. It can be a very great impact because of the fact that you demonstrated serial and systemic changes. Okay? Serial and systemic changes. So it's a both side situation. So second application sometimes can be more chance of getting into the system. It can give you an opportunity that, but it depends upon how you process during that period of time. That's why we always recommend those who wanted to come to our SSA program, Simply Admission Assist program. We say, join us in advance, prepare us. Now I always give this example. I might have given it to so many people. Everyone knows the biryani, right? Biryani, and there is a dish called khichdi. Khichdi means you put all the rice, pulses, vegetables in the pressure cooker and blow it up, or meat, whatever you want to put. Both have the similar recipe ingredient, but to prepare a biryani, it takes longer time because you have to follow a certain process. If you try to build up a biryani in a short period of time, it may result into khichdi. So that's my advice. Always prepare, take your time, prepare, and then apply and best represent yourself. Dr. Anand.
So, whenever you do CAAPID, there are supplemental questions. So those schools who are concerned about whether you are reapplicant or not, they do have a supplemental question like, is this your first cycle? And if you select no, then there is another question that pops up which says that, you have to explain like what you did different from your previous cycle. So if you are a reapplicant, to me, actually, it doesn't matter. Like if I am somebody who is screening the applicants, I won't care whether it's a reapplicant or an old applicant or a new applicant, whatever it is, unless and until it fits what I'm looking for the candidates. But it's not me who is on that side, it's somebody else who is on that side, right? So some schools who are really concerned about whether they want to take a reapplicant or not, they do have that question. But those schools who doesn't have that question doesn't necessarily mean that, if you are a reapplicant, then they will not take it. So don't be disheartened if you are a reapplicant. I think that has got nothing to do with any level of acceptance. But the reapplicant usually needs to, whenever they write their SOP, then they need to write something which they did in recent times, that might enhance their SOP a little bit more if they get a chance to read your previous SOP.
Thank you, Dr. Anand. Thank you, Dr. Pradhan. We have one more question from Dr. Abdullah. If you want to unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, everyone. Happy to see you again. Hi, Dr. Pradhan. I have my question. I did my ECE certificate evaluation, and I need 7 years ago. I need to know have I need to reevaluate it again for this application or?
No, that doesn't. No, you do not change, to be honest. But sometimes it's only valid for 5 years. So because the benchmark changes, the ETS is bringing all those changes. So you know what, these ETS or any other evaluating this thing, they're getting also commercial phase, right? But one good part is that you have a doubt, you go to the website, they have a chat system, and they will ask you your ID, this ID, and you provide them, and they will go and have a look and tell you to answer those questions, and you will be able to get the answer right away. They will check, it is 5 year, you need it because the university or institution you asked to send, they want 5 year, they will tell you. Okay, they will tell you. That's a way. But normally I'm telling you, ETS evaluations only stay for not the ETS, the EC evaluation stays for 5 years only. Okay, they just updated this thing a couple of years ago. Okay. We have Dr. Anand Samuel. Dr. Anand Samuel, go ahead with your question. And I think that's the last question. It's already an extended session.
Yeah. So my question was around loan options. So for non-citizens, what are typical loan options in the US? And how much time do universities typically provide to show proof of funds? And if you could comment on any scholarship opportunities, that would also be great. I know it's a lot, so thank you.
No problem, Dr. Anand. Here is something. So if you don't mind, Dr. Anand, at what level you are in right now? You have passed the board exam and applying for the cycle?
Last time PDE.
Okay, you
Applying for
prepared.
this, yeah.
Okay, and you have invested good enough time for your application?
Yes, so I'm working on TOEFL and also getting SOPs, LORs ready.
Okay, that's a good thing. Why did I ask this question is because of the fact that Dr. Anand said one step at a time, right? But yes, this is a big factor, and Dr. Anand will add more to it because a lot of things changed. When I was going to University of Florida in 2019, 18, 20, and now things have changed a lot. Dr. Anand.
Again, I'll say one thing at a time. You don't want to stress yourself on this loan thing because taking it from me is really stressful. But yeah, it's a good question. And actually, you should be mentally ready to really look out with these financial challenges because the figure is quite a big number. So for non-US citizens, say like if you are in US and if you are not in US, there are two possibilities. Okay, so say like you are in US and you are non-US citizen on some visa. So then you have, and if you don't have a cosigner, okay, we are just thinking about options where you don't have a cosigner. If you have a cosigner, you can go to any private bank, like say Discover was one of them. Then you have Earnest, then you have SoFi. There are so many other banks that are there that can give you loans on the basis of cosigner. So if you go to Earnest, then they're going to give you a form where you have to enter the name of a cosigner who will have a social security number and have a credit value as well, credit score as well, and they're going to approve your loan and so percent. That's the easy way which most of the students do get through because but the problem with that is you need to have somebody who can co-sign your loan, or you need to know somebody who can take that risk for you, right? Say like you don't have a co-signer and you want to get funds from US, then there are private banks like Prodigy and Empower who might give you a certain amount without a co-signer. Earlier, they used to sign almost the full amount, but now they are limiting the amount to maybe like 100K or like 150K or something like that. So that can add some funds to say like somebody agreed to co-sign your 1 year loan, then probably you might go with these banks who doesn't need a co-signer. But the problem with these banks is the interest rates are quite higher. Okay, don't worry about even if the interest rates are higher, because once you graduate and you start working, then you can again refinance the loan and cut down the interest rate, and that can also help you a little bit. Say now another scenario where you are not in US and you want to fund funds from your country. So if you can get private international student loans from your home country as well. It depends from country to country what rules and regulations they have. But if you are coming from India and most of the Asian countries, you might have to add a collateral to it, some property or something that you might need to put in against the loan. And also the interest rate a little on the higher side compared to the interest rate that you get in United States, because the interest rates are a little higher in those countries as well. So that's one thing. Other thing is there are some banks who might give you some amount of loans without putting collateral, but again the interest rate will be high. So there are options are there. But the problem that you might face from the loans that you get from your home country is you might have to negotiate with them, or you might have to inquire with them when they are starting with the loan repayment. Sometimes the loan repayment starts as soon as you take the money, and sometimes the loan prepayment starts once you graduate or a few months after you graduate. Most of the students' loan you get in United States, the loan repayment starts after some grace period of like 5 to 6 months. I think that's what I can say about this loan. I think it's a little more comprehensive, but you can ask more questions whenever you get to that point.
Okay, I wanted to add one point here. If someone is Canadian or Canadian PR, they're entitled to get some loans from the federal government of Canada, even for your DMD DDS program or any program in the United States. The good part about that loan process is that some part of the loan is just a grant. You don't have to return it back. So that's a very key thing. I got 43,000 Canadian dollars as a loan from the federal government, out of which 13,000 was non-refundable. I don't have to pay it back. And these are the options that we can always look into later. I always say that. And one big tagline at the end, when there is a will, there are many ways. Okay, so these things will come. Dr. Presta wants to add to some point. Yes.
Yeah, so apart from loans, he asked for scholarships. Being non-US citizen, it's almost impossible to get any scholarship, but like physicians, if there are programs, if you decide to work in rural communities, they can give you, like they can pay your fees, or a part of it, like 180 or 200K in like for working for them for like 4 years or 3 years or 2 years based on your contract. But this thing again comes after you have received your acceptance.
Yeah, so mostly for the scholarship, I'll say, as Presta said, that it's a little negative on for those who are on visas, so should not be expecting much, but there can be some contractual things that might come up or you must just be looking out for those if there is any.
Thank you. That was really helpful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Anand. Thank you, Dr. Simran, all the mentors, all our guests, and all the participants for joining the session today. And we hope we helped you in answering the most of the frequently asked CAAPID questions.